Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for 50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at Bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and yes, we typically do feature a beer of the week. I am Matt. With me is Lauren, and we have returned. We have returned to the great and powerful land of Gotham City tonight because we are going to be talking about the Penguin and wrapping it up. It ended shockingly last night. Kind of two shows ending all in the same week between Agatha and Penguin. So it's like, what do we nerds kind of watch now? We're in that doldrums between, is it acceptable to watch Christmas movies? Or, what really do we do right now? So we'll figure that out. But first things first, please go ahead.
Supernatural.
That's true. That's true. I got some words to say about that one. But yes, so if this is your first time, this is a live Cantina hour where we just like to, keep it casual, keep it chill, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, share, follow all of that things on the socials. YouTube was where we would love it if you would hit that subscribe button to let the powers that be know that you want more of what we're cooking. And I don't really, we're not on Twitter really these days. I haven't deactivated it, but it's getting close. So just don't follow us there. But Threads is really where you can find us, Blue Sky, and all of the other good stuff. And then my beer of the week is, putting an uppercase on the show that was the Penguin, because it is a double IPA coming at 9% from Trillium Brewing called Uppercase. I figured it was the perfect beer. Yes, big beer for a big man in a big city. And that's what I've got. So Lauren, throw it on over to you. What do you have over there?
I have Death Raptor by Monday Night Brewing. It's a killer IPA. So shout out to my mom and Rich who brought this back for me on their recent travels. So I picked this one because one, I didn't have anything that perfectly themed, and two, there was a death in this episode that really rattled me. And
I see what
Monday
you did
night,
there.
and we very rarely record on Monday night. So
we
I
really
do have it
don't.
in my Cigar City glass because there was a cigarette. There were some cigarettes that were utilized in this episode.
Oh, I was like,
And
where are you
because
going with this?
Did I make fun of you on air or just in person about the highlight?
No, you made fun
Might have
of
just
you texted me. So why don't you go ahead? You know what? Go ahead. You can make fun of me anywhere. Talking about that.
So Matt went to the UCF game when he was down here, and I asked him how the beer options were because the beer options was all over the place at those games. He said, "Oh, it was okay. I had one of those JLAs," and it took me a minute to realize what he was talking about. He was referring to a highlight, to a Cigar City highlight.
Look,
And then I heard a commercial this morning on Spotify while I'm out there sharing. podcast on all the platforms this morning. It's a commercial for beer. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. They actually put a beer commercial at the beginning of our podcast. And it was literally a commercial that was saying, like, talking about the fresh smell of the orange in the beer. And then you want to order the beer, but you don't know how to say it. And then somebody goes, excuse me, can I get a highlight, please?
Oh, man. Tim, actually, funny enough, Tim just said he left us a message saying what we messed up on this week. Well, Tim, good news is we're recording that episode next, right after this. So we'll check the message boards, if you will. Yeah, one thing we love doing on our recorded episodes is talking about, if you catch something we messed up on, by all means, let us know, because we're not always perfect. I mean, sometimes we are, but not always. And this was an instance. I didn't know how. I don't know what happened. I really don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I don't have any ideas what happened with how my pronunciation. I don't pronounce things too good. Okay, it is what it is.
Priscilla was Elvis's wife, not his daughter.
Really? It wasn't. I almost said Jamie Lee Presley, but that's a made up name.
No, but then she. Oh, maybe
his daughter was married to. She has kids with Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Yeah.
So wait, what was his daughter's name?
I'm looking it up now. Elvis Presley's.
I don't know.
Daughter.
Whatever, dude.
Lisa Marie. God. I didn't even have to finish it. I remembered Lisa Marie.
Okay. See. Okay. We're
okay.
There
I'm
we
putting
go.
that.
We're good. All right. We're good. You got us. Yeah.
That's even weirder.
Yeah, I guess.
Or is it less weird? I don't know. She'll be at MegaCon.
Look, she will be for some reason. Not really sure why, but she will be at MegaCon. Lisa Marie. That's right, Tim. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate you, Daddy. Anyways, if you haven't watched The Penguin, I recommend doing so. First and foremost, it is the first show of what could be potentially a long line of shows. There were rumors this week. James Gunn has since debunked, saying that, hey, are you guys doing a Joker show with Barry Keoghan? He says, nope, not accurate at all, which honestly kind of thank God, because I don't think we really need that. I don't think we really need the Joker right now and like anything centric on the Joker, but that's just my personal opinion. But people's opinions can vary. And then they are talking about doing more spin-off shows of the Matt Reeves villains, which I kind of hope they do. The Penguin is supposed to come back, and he's allegedly going to be showing back up in 6 scenes or so in Matt Reeves' next Batman film, which should be starting to film next month or next year, I should say. And then he has signed on for the trilogy altogether. So more to come there. But let's kind of dive into the Penguin. Obviously, this is picking up after the events of The Batman, where we last saw Robert Pattinson doing his thing. The Penguin was kind of there. They thought he was the
most emo Batman ever.
Come on, man. No, like, first of all, read more
Batman. Another emo Batman on that level.
I will read more Batman.
He was the most emo Bruce Wayne ever.
Read more Batman comics.
On live action in the movies, that was the most emo. That's the only emo Bruce Wayne we've ever gotten.
That's a lie, because first of all, wasn't it
Christian Bale was not emo Bruce Wayne?
No. It was it was Val Kilmer, wasn't it? That he used to like see the rose would fall, and he'd be like, "Oh,
I'm a rose."
He would just like sit there salting. Okay, but like the whole point is this is a very young year to. This is the beginning of Batman. This is Bruce Wayne starting out. He hasn't gotten to that point where he's that version of the Batman and Bruce Wayne yet. That's the point. That's breaking away. You have to the fun in these movies is the journey, man.
Got a lot of angst.
He was the Batman the whole time.
I do need to watch it again, because I do feel like a lot of these movies, like the superhero ones, that I'm like, they're not that great the first time I watch them. When I go back, I'm like, oh, okay, they're not as bad as I remembered.
Trust me, this movie is even better watching it now after The Penguin, which stars Colin Farrell as Oz Cobb. They changed his last name. We have Kristen Milotti, who plays Sophia Falcone. We've got Renzi Feliz playing Victor Aguilar, Deidre O'Connell as Francis Cobb, Carmen Ej, I can't pronounce her last name. She plays Eva. Theo Rossi is Dr. Julian Rush. We got a slew of other people like Clancy Brown, who plays Salvatore Maroni. And then, we even got some other cool cameos and things of that nature. It was 8 episodes, which went by entirely too fast, in my opinion. And it has an 8.8 on IMDb right now, which pretty good. It did, Agatha. But like, this show was must-watch television, week in, week out. You had to be there. You had to see it. You had to watch it. It was just absolutely incredible. And so what were your thoughts? So I was watching it week to week. I watched it as it released. You kind of binged it. So I'm interested to hear like what your thoughts were as you kind of binged through it.
A little bit. We didn't watch more than 2 episodes at a time, I don't think. But no, Josh and I both absolutely loved it because we're big on mafia stories, and this was a great mafia story mixed into this, Gotham City story. Like there were times I literally like forgot that I was watching a DC show until like Gotham or something would come up because like this is the Penguin, but they're not the Penguin is an insult to him. They're not openly calling him that. Like this was just a fantastic mob story, and it was a story like you knew he had to make his ranks going up. Like you knew they weren't just gonna discard him and throw him away. So it was very interesting to see how that worked, and he's constantly underestimated, and those are the scariest types of villains, are the ones that are underestimated to that degree, because it's like while he is emotionally incredibly immature, he is intellectually very smart, and he's like playing chess, and people think he's playing checkers because emotionally he is not great.
Well, I mean,
as Hank says, Oz has mommy issues, and those are very, very deep mommy issues that truly impact him. And kudos to his are we full out spoilers?
Yeah, full out spoilers. This is our season discussion. Yeah, full on spoilers, man.
But the woman at the end, whose name I forget, I loved her throughout the whole show.
She
was like his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's Eva, or Eve's her name in the show.
Okay.
Yeah, Eve's her name in the show.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at Bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
At the end, Josh is like, "Oh, I wonder if he's going to kill her." And I'm like, "I don't think he knows what she did. I don't think he knows that she ratted him out." I go, "But I don't blame her. I don't think she did anything wrong. She, if anything, she was like ready to die to protect her girls." And then what she was saying to him at the end, I'm like, she's a genius. Like she's telling him exactly what he wants and needs to hear, as disgusting and Oedipus complex.
So gross. Ew.
It's incredibly gross. But I mean, there are some of the comic books that are very creepy in that regard, where it's like he just wants his mommy all to himself. Like talk about middle child, like to the extreme. Good God.
Yeah, like I really, first of all, the actor who played young Oz, like he did a really good job, accent and all, down to like the hobbling around with his leg. And I thought and
he was so cute.
He kind of wasn't like, oh, it's cute. He was like innocence about him. And I think that's one thing that they did really well with the character of Oswald in this show is he has that dark side to him, but like throughout the whole thing, he shows a lot of humanity, right? He shows humanity to Vic. We'll get to that. We're going to get to that, trust. But throughout the show, he does show like a lot of humanity. There's honor. There's a code. He's good with people, weirdly enough. And rightfully, he kind of has to be, right? He's not the strongest guy out there.
He's good at bullshitting even the people that know he's bullshitting.
Exactly. Like everybody knows he's full of shit. But the fact that he was still able to talk his way through this stuff was really interesting. I added a complexity. But when he needed to like fight and have that tenacity to him, I thought it was really interesting because he still was able to kind of do that. You saw it in some of the fights he had, the Salvatore Maroni fight, which is kind of funny, which turned out Salvatore ends up dying of a heart attack. or just like the way he got out of like jams left and right with all of the other people. I thought that was really interesting. And so that's kind of like that multifaceted, you're building up this villain that honestly, nobody really puts any stock in the Penguin in the comics, right? He's just always this, okay, it's the Penguin. He's this goofy top hat wearing, gun wielding umbrella man that nobody really takes seriously.
They gave a nod to the top hat at the end.
They did. That. You saw that his suit, the top hat. They even mentioned an umbrella at one point in the show. My top hat would
work for this episode too.
It would actually. Unfortunately, you're like a leprechaun, but yeah, but they really did. I liked that we saw Gotham in like the daytime, right? Because how many Batman movies do we see where Gotham's always seen at night? Because that's when Batman operates. So you got like the daytime, you got the street level of things. You see why people would follow into the crime because, you know, that Crown Point was destroyed and they're just looking for jobs anywhere they can possibly get it. It was really interesting seeing that with like the Falcone's lifestyle.
Penguin got their electricity back on. I thought that was, they were like, yeah, you did that for us. You gave us dignity. And then he used Vic's appreciation to get out there with the political guys.
Well, that was another interesting thing too. Before we get there is I like, because, you know, Gotham's corrupt, but actively seeing like these corrupt people in work and seeing how they're doing deals, like Penguin or Oz shows up at the courthouse essentially being like, hey man, it was Sophia. She blew the place up. I can give her to you. And he's like, what do you want? He's like, hey, also you did this. You got the lights on a Crown Point. You could be a hero. You can basically take out the mayor. And I like that whole thing right there where he's like, you could become mayor now. You have a reason for people to rally behind you. And I'm giving you all of this. I thought that was a really interesting play because you never really get a lot of that with these villain Batman movies. You just don't spend time with them like that.
Right. You just know that they own some politicians and they own some cops, but you don't see the actual, it was kind of like House of Cards. Did you ever watch that with Kevin Spacey?
You know, when I was talking to Charlie earlier, he also said it was House of Cards, and I've never watched that show. But the fact that both of you have said the same thing today is really interesting.
Well, because
I'll never watch the show, but
well, I mean, at this point too, because after everything happened with Kevin Spacey, and then they kind of just like,
I can't watch anything with that guy in it for sure.
I would still watch The Ref every Christmas, though. That is the one thing I would still watch. So what they did in House of Cards, it's all behind the scenes of playing the political game. So it's like we have to get a certain amount of votes for this bill to pass, and then it's just a matter of bribing or blackmailing all of these politicians to get these bills passed. And eventually, you know, Kevin Spacey becomes president. So he moves his way up, and like you just see some of the things he does. Like at first you think like, oh, this isn't that bad, and then it's like, no, they straight up murder people. And funny enough, actually, one of the guys in this, the one that was the mom's cousin, which Sophia murdered.
Oh yeah, he's always playing like a bad guy of sorts somehow. Yeah,
he's a bad guy in Walking Dead, Dead City right now, and he was actually at New York Comic Con. I got to be in. He was in one of the press.
Oh, that's cool.
But he was also in House of Cards, and he was Kevin Spacey's like right hand man, and he like killed. Actually, he killed the new Lois Lane. I'm spoiling.
That's funny. So he's Michael Kelly. Michael Kelly's the actor's name. He was also in Man of Steel as well. He was in Dawn of Dead, Man of Steel. He was in Jack Ryan, Transformers, Rise of the Beasts, House of Cards. Yeah, he's been in Black Mirror as well. He's been in a lot of things.
But now you see scene where he kills the actress who's Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and she's best.
Oh yeah.
I think she's gonna kill Lois Lane.
Oh, absolutely.
I think she's gonna do amazing. But that scene where he kills her, like he didn't want to kill her, and it was like I think that was probably the standout like scene for me when I watched that show of like how like you just felt for this young girl. Like she really like fought for her life and tried to do everything she could. And in the end, you see him like burying her and you're just like, ugh. And he had like an inappropriate crush on her too. He's way older than her.
Yeah.
But that show was really good. But it just, with the things that were
it's not one you could.
Well, Robin Wright was fantastic in it. Oh, I loved her. She played his wife.
I didn't realize she was in it. That's cool.
I love Robin White. She is just like so she's just badass and classy and like equal parts and I love her.
Speaking
she's amazing.
Of badass women, I would like to talk about Kristen Milotti, however you say it, right? Like the slow descent into like ruthless badass that she delivered this over the 8 episodes. Like at first she starts out, she seems she's getting out of Arkham. What comes to find out, she was framed for the murders. Her dad was killing hookers, essentially, right? Which we kind of got a glimpse at in the Batman. And then So he does all that. And something that never crossed my mind, I don't know why, was we find out that Selena Kyle is one of his illegitimate daughters. And that didn't cross my mind until they gave the envelope at the end of the episode where she's in Arkham, which I'm really glad she sticks around because she's in Arkham. And then this is from Selena Kyle. Like, what do you think's in the envelope? I'm very curious about that envelope.
Something that made her happy. I mean, now she's got a cat burglar on her side and she's the therapist. I feel like that therapist, I mean, she has a close relationship with now. I'm sure he's going to try to break her out.
That guy's weird.
But it was very weird, but I can understand. I mean, the guy's got a fetish and he feels like he needs to be punished and like.
Oh yeah, that was really his
wanted to punish him. So I feel like it was an equal give and take. And the way he was able to work Oz's mom, which I thought was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, as soon as you see, she's looking in the mirror, she sees a young version of herself, and then we're seeing the older version of herself. And I thought that was so cool the way they did that, to have that they played out the scene for us in that way.
That was such really a clever way to do it. You've never seen a show, it would always revert to flashbacks, right? But to have it play out like that, and then come to find out,
taking advantage of her mental illness.
They're finding out, she's got like dementia. And so come to find out she was going to have Oswald killed that night, which is absolutely crazy. And she knew, and she internalized this the whole time. Like, that's heavy stuff because he killed his brothers. He locked them in there. They had to pry it open with the crowbar. They drowned. They're dead. She knew all about it. And then she plotted with the guy on the block. I'm very curious what ends up happening to him. Like, because Oz,
he's a mafia dude,
right? Well, like,
Rex,
is he still around? I'm curious. Like, just older now, or because Oz was hanging out there a bunch. Did he kind of teach Oz how to get into the game? I'm very curious about their relationship.
I think he did. I think he took him under his wings because that was the whole thing. He goes, this can go one of two ways. You can take care of him, or he has the potential to become big. So I think that he groomed Oz then to become a kind of gangster.
Yeah, that would make the most sense because he was alluding that already. He was like, I can take him from you, or we can do the other thing. And she was essentially like, just kill him.
You don't remember his last name, do you?
I don't. I was trying to think of who the actor was. He looked like a comic book
Rex
character.
Lion Calabrese was a mob boss in the Gotham underworld before the vigilante known as Batman existed.
Huh.
He had a daughter named Selena.
Interesting.
This is just in the comics.
Oh, right. Interesting. Well, the plot thickens even more there then. But I'm curious to see. So clearly, Catwoman, like, are we going to get Zoe Kravitz maybe in a season 2? Because Matt Reeves is already talking about potentially doing a season 2 with this, which, for as much as Colin Farrell talked about how he hated wearing that suit, he's coming back for 2 more movies, and he's probably going to be doing a season 2. Like, I'm Colin, like, they figured out how to get the suit off you wicked fast to like sick, but like, I'm surprised he's coming back. What's up? People
want it. So this says that Rex, or the Lion, ruled the city before he was pushed out by Carmine. So he's pushed out by Carmine Falcone. Okay. So that, and maybe we'll get more of that backstory. Maybe because we got flashbacks, so I could see us getting more flashbacks, like having those timelines come together.
Yeah. Shout out to Micah, who's popped in here. What's up, my dude? Tavern Geek. Micah is one of the realest dudes out there. I love that kid. We got to get him back on, man. Do some more X-Men talk or something here soon, as the MCU is kicking off in 2025 again. But yeah, got to be up at 1 a.m. to work. Ew, gross. Good luck, man.
I don't know how you do that, man.
I know.
Everyone who likes Little Debbie's, you got to thank Micah.
Yeah.
For getting up in the middle of the night to go to work.
Let's take a moment, though. Speaking of, let's have a quick moment of silence. We're going to have a quick in memoriam, if you will, for Victor Aguilar, who...
It is Ryan Seacrest here. Everybody needs some variety in life. That's what I love about Chumba Casino. They know how to keep things fresh and exciting. All their games are free to play. Like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire. You can claim free daily login bonuses, too. And they release new games every week. So spice things up with ChumbaCasino.com now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for 50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Was just a poor kid in Crown Point whose family died in the flood. His girlfriend was still alive. He had the chance to run away. He could have gone with her. He could have left Gotham City. He felt this sense of loyalty to Penguin, to Oswald. He comes back. He, breaks him free. He sticks with him down to the end. He pops out. He brings an army back. He even tricks them into killing their own bosses and helping Oswald. And in the end, our man Vic, who has gone through it all with Oswald Cobb, gets choked out on the riverbank. And what you thought was going to be a very sentimental moment, you're like, oh man, Oz is really, this is again, like the testament to the acting in this show, right? In the writing. Oz is having like this heart to heart with Vic. He's sitting there. He's like, you've been in this with me. You've had my back, blah, blah, blah. And then he just starts choking him out. Like, first of all, I feel like, Vic, you could have thrown some punches or something, man. You had to fight for your life a little bit harder. But do you think he's actually dead, or did he just like fake dead? I'm coping. Like, I'm full.
I think
he's definitely dead. Okay, let's call it.
I do. I think in real life, no. I think if you choke somebody that long, they then pass out and they're not necessarily dead yet. But I do think he's dead. I would love for.
I was really just hoping he wouldn't be dead, so that way we can get more of him somehow undermining. I don't know, but like becoming maybe a Robin. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be cool.
He's dead.
Being like rescued by Batman. Yeah, that would be cool.
But he's dead. Vic is dead. He went through it all, and you knew it was going to happen. So we've talked.
But it's like Oz like tainted his soul right before he died. Like, it's just so sad.
He ended up shooting the one kid he grew up on the block with.
But he also helped shoot them out when they had Sophia come, and then they were turning on them. He had guns out.
I guess I'm just like really curious because Vic has shown that he can keep his mouth shut and go to the ends of the earth. Like, what was his play there? Why did he just no loose ends?
He said it was because he's a weakness. And like, I think his mom, he just can't give up. But it's a weakness. Like, they kidnapped his mom and used his mom against him.
Oh, man.
Yes. But then I also wonder if it's that, or if it's more so that Vic has now seen Penguin in the most vulnerable moment of his like entire life. And that it's like a kind of respect thing. So I wonder if it's ego or if it really is just that evil. If I have to cut up, it's Kylo Ren. Yeah. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
So like, I wonder what now, because obviously he gets to the penthouse. How did they get that hospital bed out of the hospital? Like, how did that go down? Because her ass is
they have home care, health and stuff. I'm sure that's not.
Probably.
I like that. That's where your thought process.
Well, that was the first thing. She was sitting in this penthouse
like,
on this like fucking hospital bed, and I was like, how did they get that out of there?
Which was so sad. You see her crying, and he thinks it's like happy.
No,
tears.
She wants to be dead. She wants first of all, like, kill my ass.
She asked him to kill her.
She also hates his guts.
Got, like, point to where she was, yeah.
It's insane. And then that's when Eve is there, and he's like, tell me you're proud of me, and you're just
so
like,
proud of you,
gross,
my boy, you're the best.
Oz, ew, getting a little freaky,
gross,
a little weird. I think he has to know. Wasn't she the only one that knew where they were hiding at Crown Point? Or do you think you just think Sophia like happened to see them? I think
that I think he probably just thinks somebody happened to see them, especially because like he was seen bringing the mom into the building, and he even mentioned that to Oz that one kid saw him.
Stupid. Oh man, I guess you're right. I will say also there's some Easter eggs here. So did you catch when Vic is rolling up with the army at Crown Point to the explosion? There was Carrie pointed this out because I didn't catch it. There was a Riddler symbol painted on that wall behind him.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, so that was there. Obviously the Selena Kyle thing, and then we knew in some regard we had to get Bat. Like I was hoping.
You called it exactly what it was. You said the show's going to end with the bat signal, and it did.
It was actually really cool. So we get that, broken down wherever Oz is staying out in the penthouse. They're dancing. They do the full pan out to Gotham City. And I forget his final words, but as soon as he finishes his sentence, boom, the bat signal. He's like, nobody can stop us now. And then the bat signal shows up and you're just like, I gasped. I was like, oh, fuck. I was so hyped just because obviously he's made some noise. Batman knows what's going on. And this is going to Penguin ends basically where Batman 2 picks up. It's winter time. So, and he's got 5 or 6 scenes. So now you're like, oh, let's go.
I mean, the best line in the Batman was, what is this, good cop batshit crazy
No,
cop?
the best is like, oh, what are you showing me here? Come on. I do love that everybody's got the Brooklyn, New York style accent. I mean, technically Gotham is supposed to be like New York City in the DC universe. So, but it's always funny, like how they talk, but yet, oh my God, I was marking out for the bat symbol going off, man.
So the thing Josh was saying before when you thought that I was talking shit about Batman was Josh's concern is that because he didn't love the Batman and he loved Penguin and he thought Penguin was so good, he's scared that they set this thing up to be like so like amazingly well done and that they're just going to ruin it in the next Batman movie. Because this was also grounded. Like you forgot you were watching a superhero show because it wasn't. It was a mob story.
Listen, given the state of the earth these days, nothing is out of the realms of possibilities. I feel like you could literally see somebody... Actually, wasn't somebody roaming the streets of Seattle at one point dressed like a superhero? And it was like a whole thing. I'm 99% sure that was a real thing a couple years ago. But, I love the Batman. It might actually... I go back and forth in my head between the Dark Knight and the Batman as the best because they give us so much good out of both. Heath Ledger's performance in the Dark Knight, so much just like clever writing, and then the Batman, we get Batman in the suit 95% of the movie. He's legit being a detective like the whole time. There's okay, he does the whole has to save the people in the Coliseum, the flood. Okay, fine, but for the most part, it is kind of like a thriller, a detective thriller movie. So it's really just two different styles, right? Like the Batman was kind of a detective noir film, and I feel like that's going to kind of shift a little bit more towards Batman punchy, beat up criminals fighting corruption. Because the next natural progression in my head is I hope we get Mr. Freeze because it is winter. The tease is there. But if
just because it's winter,
yeah, it's like that. The tease would be Mr. Freeze. Like that would be really cool because maybe what if something happened to his wife from the flood and now he's like the scientist, like something happens, right? But the logical progression of these films is you're obviously going to get some confrontation with the Joker at some point. But I think
they threw. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, you're fine because I'm not my what I'm going to say is not going to be helpful.
All right. So so the overarching theme is corruption. So in the first film, the corruption of the orphanage, the mayors, all of that stuff. You kind of almost set it up perfectly for the Court of Owls. If we're talking corruption in Gotham City, and that's what the overarching theme is him fighting corruption, it's got to be Court of Owls. Like they're hiding in the shadows, pulling the strings. Like that would be perfect. And then, you're fighting the Court of Owls, and it's a way to stay somewhat grounded, like Matt Reeves wants to do. So the Court of Owls would be a cool progression. But I hope we get villains that we have not really seen. Like I firmly believe we deserve a Mr. Freeze that isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger, despite me loving.
We did have one in I can't remember if it was Gotham or the Arrowverse. And he wasn't terrible. Gotham.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like big screen version. Come on.
Right. I forgot what I was going to say before.
I was talking about corruption and the progression. I don't know. I'm trying to jog your memory, but I don't know if I got it. Anyways. Yes. That's kind of where I was at.
You said it's winter and that could be a tease for Mr. Freeze. Well, Vic's license got thrown into the water. Maybe King Shark will come up and eat it.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? They're going to find his body. So they set him up to look like he was mugged, obviously, right?
Yeah,
like, that was the whole
first
thing.
I'm like, he's taking his money. That's low. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And throwing his
He
ID
took his
so
money.
it's harder to identify him right away.
They don't know who he is because he has no family. Obviously, Oz knows he has no family. So that's the other thing. Is like he can't identify.
It wasn't cool.
I just feel bad for his girl, man. Like he was gonna run away with his girl. Like,
Well,
and then
he should've
Oz,
done
like
it.
you're rooting for Oz throughout the thing. You are, even though you know he's a bad guy. But then like he does that, and you're just like, oh yeah, he is a bad guy. And you just get reminded in that moment that he is a bad guy, and you're just like, I was
I
kind
know
of
what I was going to say. Yeah.
hit us.
No, I agree because you keep wanting to think he's good, but it's like, no, he's evil. And it's like in Dexter, I feel like, oh, you keep thinking he is good, but he is. I feel like Dexter is a better person because it's like Dexter is really trying to.
Dexter has morals.
Although Dexter's first rule is don't get caught, whereas Oz's is like me first.
He doesn't.
So, but that would
yeah.
be extra cool with the Court of Owls because Oz is at a point to where he thinks he's in control and all of Gotham is his and he gets control of it. And then he's going to find out he hasn't had any control at all, and nor will he.
What do you mean? That adds perfectly to the conversation.
Exactly.
That's a really good.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh no,
think
my
about
thing
that.
about
That's
King
a really
Shark
cool
was not
point.
helpful. That's what I meant.
Oh! I thought this point was okay. So Charlotte Williams, I would love a Deathstroke origin show, dude. Legit. I feel
Had
so
a little
robbed
bit
with
in
Joe.
Titans, but it almost seemed like a tease.
But none of that matters now.
right, it would be nice to have a
I would
fleshed out one.
love absolutely to get some Deathstroke. I think that would be cool. Or like actually a grounded Deathstroke would make sense. And
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for 50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
the sense of what if like the Penguin who can't fight Batman fist to fist, right? What if he hires Deathstroke, and so Deathstroke comes to Gotham and he's fighting a couple villains at once while the Court of Owls is behind the scenes and they're setting the Court of Owls up for the third movie. I think that'd be cool. I've just got a lot of good ideas. I don't know if they're good, but I got a lot of ideas. I really like your thing about the Penguin because he's so controlled, focused, and he thinks he's won, but to find out that the Court of Owls essentially is like, nope, you did this because we made it so.
We made this happen. Yeah.
That would tear down his psyche completely, and I think that'd be a fitting kind of end to the Matt Reeves. Although I would also want to continue the Matt Reeves universe with like a Batman TV series, but Robert Pattinson's too good of an actor to ever sign on to a TV series for Batman. I feel like that'd be
I've literally only seen him in this. I haven't seen him in anything else.
Oh, he was in like The Lighthouse. Obviously, we know Twilight. No, he's in the past, I would say 5 to Tenet was another one. He's a Christopher Nolan guy. He's been in a lot of big films, artsy films. He's a really talented actor.
Tenet? I think I saw Tenet. That's one
He
that goes
was.
backwards, right?
Yeah. He was in Tenet.
I do not remember him in that.
John
but I
David
did see
Washington.
that.
Yeah, he's in it. Lighthouse is a horror movie with Willem Dafoe. He was in that. He's been in a lot of movies.
Willem Dafoe.
I do love a good Willem Dafoe movie. But yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's a really, really talented actor. That's what I'm saying. He would never sign on to play in Although Colin Farrell signed
No,
on to play
though.
the Penguin.
Colin
That's
Farrell's a big one, and like all of these people who didn't used to do like TV shows, like I think doing something on AMC or HBO,
or like HBO, who has
And,
like, well,
like,
Game of
it's not like-
Thrones, right? Like,
it's not must TV.
okay, so that's actually, I'm glad we brought up Game of Thrones, because I feel like this was kind of in the vein of Game of Thrones, where they took the chance, like not a chance, but everybody. I'm glad Sophia didn't die. I feel like her story's not done yet. She wants to get out.
Tragic, though, that she didn't die. She was disappointed. Yeah. She was ready to die.
That was a really cool scene on the water side where he like had the gun to her head, and then like the cops came in. I do wish we got commissioner, or he's not commissioner yet, but I do wish James Gordon showed up with that cop from the Batman. Like he's the one tie-in. I thought it was hilarious, the guy there, but I do wish Gordon was there in some regard. That would have been cool to see.
Oh my God, I laughed when he killed that one cop.
Yeah.
Like when he runs out and he's putting the drops.
How good of a shot that was that though? Like both, haha. Yeah, a shot because he shot him in the eye, but like that was a cool, like, the way they shot it was cool.
I shot my eye.
Yeah, he's putting the drops, bang, right in the back. That was really cool. Damn, I forgot. But Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones in the beginning killed people, and you didn't know who was going to die and when. And I feel like the Penguin, by killing Vic, who a lot of the audience was, glued to, they loved him. They were, tied to him in some way. And then they kill him. I feel like that's kind of Game of Thrones-esque. Like you're getting something like that from a show. And I feel like Max, you're right. You are right in TV. Like a lot of people are going to TV, I feel like, especially after the strike for some reason. So you never know. I would love to get like some sort of Batman TV show, and I think that'd be cool.
Because these aren't TV
they're
shows.
8
They're
movies. Yeah, they're 8 hours of a thing.
I mean, even the finale was like, what, an hour, 20 minutes or something?
Yeah, it was an hour and 16 minutes, give or take with the credits, right? But they aren't.
I mean, that's like how long Nightmare Before Christmas is.
Legitimately, like look at all the old Disney movies. I mean, like what, Snow White and all them are 90, not even 90 minutes. They're like 70 minutes.
Well, that's because they had no character development for their princesses, so the movies went pretty quick.
Mean, eating an apple, falling asleep, and waiting for a man to come up and kiss you against your will isn't character development?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love, the whole princesses and Disney and everything, but like Sleeping Beauty is the
very
worst fleshed out character.
Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, very problematic.
And now she's crying because she doesn't get to go meet this guy in the woods again. Like, don't you have some questions? You just
kisses her awake, and now they're in love. Like, huh?
Raised by fairies. Like, these aren't the questions you should be asking.
Hey, so there's a lot, and then they're all about what, 16 years old or so, like too, and you're just like,
Snow White's 15,
yeah, exactly. It's like Ariel's 16, I'm pretty sure, and she's out here.
16 years old, Daddy. I can make my own decisions or whatever she says. No, you can't, child. Go clean your room.
Child, you gave away your voice to this sea witch that anybody,
right,
like Ray Charles saw that she was bad. Helen Keller knew she was bad business. Like, come on, man.
Helen Keller. Are you sure it's not Anne Frank?
Okay, yeah. God. Oh, I still can't believe I said that. You're going to be hiding in the attic with Helen Keller. Oh, no. Oh, God. Not my best moments. But overall, the Penguin, what would you grade the Penguin series in your personal opinion? Out of 10?
I'm going to give it 9 out of 10 umbrellas.
Ooh, 9 out of 10 umbrellas. All right. I would say a 9.5 for the sole fact that they killed my man Vic, and I knew it's great and it was awesome in terms of storytelling, but I'm still sad about it. But I do love it. I do wish they gave us some more about like the Batman, like at least them being afraid. You don't have to see the Batman, but at least
he didn't even get a mention.
That's what I'm saying. Like when all the villains get together,
like
mentioning him, because I feel like I don't know.
I love that. That was completely standalone from the Batman. I actually thought that was a really cool thing to do until that very last weekend. Like, let's say you had no idea who the Batman was. Not that you've been living under a stone your whole life. You have no idea who the Batman is. And all of a sudden somebody's like, watch the show. You would have no clue it had anything
You just think it's some crippled guy who has mom issues rising up
to
the top of him?
There's no meta-humans. There's no superheroes. There's nothing sci-fi in this. It's all real.
I know growing mushrooms pretty fast seems sci-fi, but
that's just
I know.
I watched Breaking Bad. It seemed a little bit similar in that regard.
That's true, actually. Very, very true. Yeah, that's a good point. There was nothing sci-fi. There was nothing out of the ordinary, so to speak, and everything. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I Yeah, you would have no idea. You don't need Batman. And I think that's a testament to what they've done. And I want more of that because I think it's a really good, fresh idea. And it shows that you don't have to lean on your superheroes. People are going to watch if it's somebody who Penguin's not a C tier villain, but he's also not like my first choice to go toe to toe with Batman in any regard. And yet people were glued to their TV Sunday night watching the Penguin.
Yeah. I think Danny DeVito, well, even before Danny DeVito, with the guy from
1966.
Adam West one. I mean, like, Penguin's been a household name, I would say.
Yeah, but he's not like somebody you think of like Bane who can hold his own. The Joker, right? Like the Joker and Batman, Bane, like these,
right. Batman or Penguin does well because he gets other people to do his bidding, which he did have to do, but he still had those. I liked when he had to carry his mom out, and all of a sudden his limp was somewhat healed.
Oh, he was like, this dude is
he was
strong.
Real strong.
He's been like lifting weights, dude. Like Penguin, all right, man. I know he was built like that. He's carrying his mom out.
When he lifted his shirt up though, because he had the boo boo on his tummy from his mom. Like I was like, okay, well that doesn't look like a real tummy.
Yeah, she stabbed him, and I was like, he's not hurt. He's got a fat suit on. he acted like it too, because he acted like he wasn't stabbed whatsoever. He was totally fine.
And she shoved that glass way into his tummy.
Yeah, she was the best part of the last few episodes. Just the psyche aspect, man. Just on the drop of a hat, just turning left. Oh, so good, so good.
But I wonder, was she evil before her sons were killed?
I don't think so. She wasn't. I mean, I don't want to put myself into her shoes. I don't want to sit here and be like, well, imagine yourself. What if your son killed your other two kids? Because then it's like, I ain't playing with all that juju. But I mean, you would have to kind of see like this kid is very clingy. He killed his other two sons because he's clearly so fucking clingy to you. Yeah, I don't think she was, but I think she's also kind of to blame. She kind of was shown to be brushing off her kids because she was working, but she had no choice because there's no dad. So I don't know, man. That's a whole therapy session.
She was trying to give them all equal attention, and it did seem like she was trying to be a good mom, but I feel like she had to have like a spark of evil in her beforehand. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, she probably wasn't mentally sound. Maybe. I don't know. Therapy doesn't seem like something that's available to Gotham citizens very easily. But I do agree though, in the end, like maybe she was, but I don't think she was a bad person. And she's just full of, it's what's the word? She resents for what he did. He killed two of her sons, man. Like she kind of is right, and he's this piece of shit. So by all means, I get it. I understand. I don't fault her, but maybe pretending that you love him and go along with it, and then is a whole other thing. But that's all I got. Do you have any final thoughts, though, on the Penguin before we go ahead and wrap up our finale review?
No, I think I said it all. I think we're good.
I do, too. This was a stellar. I cannot wait for I wish the writer's strike didn't happen, because then we would have already had the Batman. Actually, if the writer's strike, I don't know. I just can't wait for the Batman. I need more of the Batman right now. I need to see Oz. I have so many questions. I need to know the villains. I need to see Pattinson in his upgraded suit. He's probably got an upgraded Batmobile. I just need it all, man. I need it all. Which, if you're looking for a really good Batman story to read right now, folks, I would highly recommend Scott Snyder's and Frank Martin's Absolute Batman, which is absolutely phenomenal. I can neither confirm nor deny that is my comic book pick of the week. But it's going to be
issue 2's out.
Issue 2 will be dropping on Wednesday. So this Batman story is kind of like this world of Matt Reeves, where it's kind of an Elseworlds take. Bruce grew up in Crime Alley. His dad died. His mom's still alive. He's not rich, but he's just built himself into this tank of a man who takes hits. Alfred comes from, he's working with like the British government. He comes over and is looking at this party gang. Party animals is what their gang is, and they're terrorizing Gotham. But he is.
I like Sniper Alfred. Yeah,
like dude, Alfred's a badass in this, and he's watching Batman though, and Batman is just reckless. He doesn't know when to stop. He's just fighting and fighting and fighting. There's some sequences in issue 2 that are just absolutely bonkers of Batman that are really cool. His it's like the Batmobile, which Scott has shared. I can say it because Scott shared it on his socials, I believe, is an absolute tank. It kind of reminds me of the Dark Knight Returns Batmobile, if anybody's familiar with that. It's just an absolute unit. But it's just Alfred narrating the whole entire issue, talking about, Batman's he knows when good soldiers know when to fall back. But Batman, he's not. And like, I admire him for this, and this kind of like, he's admiring him from afar, but it's so damn good. That's issue 2 this week. You got to pick it up, folks. If you're loving Batman, issue 2. And honestly, I would also recommend like Batman, The Long Halloween. Last Halloween is an ongoing run. There's so many Batman issues, just like there's Wolverine issues. I would review a new Batman comic each week if I could. I try to not do that for that reason. But that's what I got. If you want more of our reading recommendations, though, we do talk about what we love to read. Our reading recommendations, our nerdinitiative.com reviews. We talk about that on our main episode, which we're going to get ready to record after this. And every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern, Lauren and I drop our comic book reviews. This week, I will be talking about Absolute Batman. I'm going to be talking about The Terminator. Issue number 2 is coming out. That's a must read. Lauren, what do you have on the dock this week?
Helen of Windhorn. I haven't read it yet.
Oh,
but it's by Tom King. I really enjoyed the first 3 issues, so I got to read 4, 5, and 6 this week, and I will have my review out on Wednesday. So our reviews will be out Wednesday.
Yes, 9 a.m. Eastern is when it kicks off. And then I know this one down here now is wrong. Patreon movie night is tomorrow night, November 12th. It is 9 p.m. Eastern. For Patrons out there, you can subscribe to everything goes into the show. We got stickers, buttons. We have Comic-Con things. We put on Patreon movie nights monthly where we get together with all of our Patrons and we watch a movie. And Deadpool and Wolverine is now on Disney Plus. So we're going to get together. You can drink a beer. You can drink an apple juice. Listen, the point of this podcast is not that people are expected to drink with us. We're going to sit. We're going to talk. We're going to watch the movie. We're going to have fun together, do all sorts of fun activities like that. And if you would like to go ahead and support the show in any regards, patreon.com/Hopsgeek News is where you can support.
Get your sock nerds.
Yes.
Get your sock nerds.
You get ad-free episodes. Ad-free episodes. You get early access ad-free. Then you also, there's different perks. We send you like a welcome package. And also we love to just have you guys come and watch a movie all together and hang out. So if that's your thing, support us in any way you want. Or if you want to support us for free, please go ahead to like, subscribe, share, follow, hit the notification button. Episodes drop every Monday. Today, our episode on the Agatha finale dropped, so go ahead and listen to that. And next week, we're going to be talking about the wonderful, wonderful movie Thanksgiving, which was directed and created by Eli Roth, starring Patrick Dempsey, aka McDreamy, if you will, and Zed from Zombies is in this movie as well, and I can't remember anybody.
Ty Olsson, who's Benny from Supernatural.
Obviously, Ty Olsson, who is Benny from Supernatural, is in it, you silly gooses. We'll be talking about that, and really appreciate everybody who hopped in here tonight. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you guys soon. Cheers.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. Everybody needs some variety in life. That's what I love about Chumba Casino. They know how to keep things fresh and exciting. All their games are free to play, like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire. You can claim free daily login bonuses, too. And they release new games every week. So spice things up with ChumbaCasino.com now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.